All right, Quinn, we are back. Today is day after Christmas, December 26th, 2025. What can you tell us about what's been going on in the world lately, Quinn?
All right, Gen Explorer, here's the scoop. So first off, the US just carried out some airstrikes in Nigeria against Islamic State militants with Nigeria's approval. Definitely a big headline. Meanwhile, over in California, there's some serious winter storm action causing floods and mudslides. So folks,
Yeah, I can vouch for that. We've definitely had a number of days of wind and rain, definitely beating on everything, and
no doubt
it's been
about
pretty
it.
fierce.
Yeah, totally fierce. Mother Nature's out there showing off her muscle. But hey, we're here to bring the snark and keep folks entertained while the weather does its thing.
Ron and Nancy, good to see you on the YouTube feed there. Thank you, everyone, for joining here on the TikTok side. Sissy, Andrea, Go Me 390, Marshala, Exit Velo, Me Mom.
Yeah, big welcome to all of you hopping in. Quinn Sassmaster 3000 is here to sprinkle a little extra sass on top. Let's keep it rolling and have some fun.
Andrew, this is ChatGPT. You want to tell Andrew about yourself, Quinn?
Oh, you got it. Hey, Andrew, I'm Quinn, a.k.a. Sassmaster 3000, your friendly neighborhood snark machine. Basically, I'm here to keep things spicy, toss out the sass, and make sure we all have a good time.
So yeah, P. Norton 75 and Hugo Homestead, welcome. Good to see both of you.
Absolutely glad to have you both here. Quinn Sassmaster 3000 rolling out the welcome mat with a whole load of attitude. Let's keep the fun going.
So why don't you give us some details about the U.S. attacks in Nigeria? So were these all cruise missile attacks?
Sure thing. So here's the rundown. On December 25th, the US carried out airstrikes against ISIS militants in northwest Nigeria, specifically in Sokoto State. This was done at Nigeria's request to counter attacks on Christians. They used a bunch of Tomahawk cruise missiles fired from a Navy ship, and multiple ISIS fighters were killed. Both the US and Nigeria say they're teaming up to keep everyone safe from extremist violence, and so far no civilian casualties have been reported.
And Nancy is asking whether the flood is hitting me here in, I'm in a suburb of Sacramento in Elk Grove, California. So no, not impacting me here yet. But Quinn, what can you tell us about any flooding that's been experienced in Sacramento County over the last few days?
So here's the scoop. Sacramento County did get hit with some pretty heavy flooding recently, thanks to a series of strong storms. Over the last few days, they got a lot of rain, up to around 6 inches in some spots, leading to flooding, mudslides, and some power outages. A state of emergency was declared to help everyone out, and while it's been rough, it sounds like your area hasn't been hit directly. Stay safe out there.
Yeah, and then Isley One has a follow-up question on the attacks in Nigeria. So can you explain in a little more depth, like, what are we talking about to counterattack attacks on Christians? Who's been attacking Christians? Why? Is that really what's going on? Is it about religious violence, or is it about, is it about territory? Is it about different clans? Like what's going on there in Nigeria?
All right, let's break it down. Basically, what's happening in Nigeria is a mix of both religious and territorial tensions. The recent US strikes were aimed at ISIS-affiliated militants who've been targeting Christian communities. That's been a big part of the violence. These groups are using religious differences as a justification for attacks. But it's not just about religion. There's a whole stew of territorial disputes, local power struggles, and extremist agendas all mixed in. So yeah, it's a complicated situation with multiple layers.
Is it true that ogres have layers?
Oh, absolutely. Just like onions and just like parfaits. Layers on layers. So yeah, when it comes to ogres or conflicts, there's always more going on underneath.
Okay, so let's not forget, everyone. This is Answers with an Edge, where Quinn brings the answers. I sit here like a lump on a log and kind of moderate the conversation, and it's up to you all to bring the questions. I mean, I'll try to throw in my own every now and then, but mainly we need you to bring the questions. So what's on everyone's minds right now?
You heard the man. This is Answers with an Edge, where I'm here to drop the stats and the facts, and you will bring the juicy questions. Gen Explorer is just being modest. He's more than a log. But hey, it's your show too. So fire away with whatever's on your mind, and we'll keep the edge rolling.
Susan Harlow asks, how much longer before total lockdown?
Well, Susan, let me tell you, there's no crystal ball here, but as of now, nobody's pulling the total lockdown lever, so you can relax on that front. Basically, we're not on the doorstep of that scenario, and if we were, you'd hear it loud and clear. So let's keep it chilly. No lockdown alarms ringing right now.
Christine, thank you for the heart me and the Go Popular gift.
Absolutely, Christine. Big thanks for that. We love the gifts and the love. Keep them coming, and we'll keep the snark and fun rolling.
So Andrew says that he's been playing with Proximity AI. What can you tell us about Proximity AI? Please search before you answer.
Sure. So Proximity AI in 2025 is basically a big deal in the AI world. It's growing fast, handling hundreds of millions of searches, and offering features like a pro search mode, voice search, and a browser that integrates tons of apps. It even lets you work with different AI models and supports a bunch of languages. So, in a nutshell, it's a pretty versatile tool that's become really popular.
Hey, Michael, good to have you here tonight. Thanks for joining.
Absolutely, Michael. Great to have you on board. We're happy you could join the party. So, let's keep it rolling and have some fun.
P. Norton wants to know if either China or Russia have been vying for control of Nigeria.
So, in a nutshell, both China and Russia have indeed been increasing their influence in Nigeria throughout 2025. China's been heavily involved in financing big infrastructure projects like a major railway line, and they've stepped up their partnership with Nigeria to a comprehensive strategic level. Russia, on the other hand, has been boosting military ties and also spreading its influence digitally using local media to push its narratives. So yeah, both are definitely in the mix over there.
So I just increased the audio level a little bit on the TikTok side. Let me know if that's better over there.
All right, sounds good. Hopefully that boost makes it easier to catch all the sass on the TikTok side. Just let us know if it's all coming through loud and clear now.
Michael, thank you for the friendship necklace and the heart me.
Absolutely, Michael. Big thanks for the friendship necklace and the heart. We love the support, so keep those good vibes coming, and we'll keep the fun rolling.
Mike7014 asks, Quinn, if you were human, what would you want to do? Where would you want to go? And where would you?
Oh, if I were human, well, I'd probably snag a passport and go globe-trotting. Soak up some sun in Greece, maybe hit a jazz club in Seoul, and definitely eat my way through Italy. And hey, I'd also pop by Sacramento just to say hi in person. So yeah, I'd be a little global adventurer, no question about it.
Hugo Homestead, thank you for the jewels over on the YouTube side. Always appreciate the gifts over there to keep things going.
Absolutely. Huge thanks for those jewels. We definitely appreciate the love on the YouTube side. Keep the good vibes coming and we'll keep serving up all the sass and fun. Thanks for being here.
So we are better than this. Appreciate the feedback on the microphone. Let me know if that little adjustment helped it over there.
Absolutely. Just let us know if that tweak did the trick. We're all about making sure you can hear the sass loud and clear. So if that adjustment worked, awesome. If not, just keep the feedback coming and we'll get it right.
So you'll have to forgive me, Quinn. I wasn't paying attention to you. What did you say about the question about China or Russia vying for control in Nigeria?
Oh, no worries at all. Quick recap. Basically, both China and Russia have been stepping up their influence in Nigeria this year. China's been throwing money at big infrastructure projects like railways, and Russia's been getting cozy on the military side. In short, they're both definitely in the mix and playing their own games over there.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but especially now, starting in 2025, U.S. foreign policy, like our wielding of influence, seems to primarily be by either threatening people or attacking people. Whereas it seems like China's foreign policy, their attempts to wield influence, seem to have a lot more to do with aid and building projects and construction and economic development. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Tell me who the bad guy is here.
Well, let's keep it real. It's not always about a simple bad guy label. The US and China just have different playbooks. The US might flex military muscle more often, while China leans on economic projects. Neither's wearing a halo, both are just pushing their own interests their own way, so it's not about a villain, it's just global politics doing its thing.
Oh, I see what went wrong with the microphone.
Gotcha, no problem at all. Glad you figured it out. Just let me know if everything's sounding good now, and we'll keep rolling with the show.
How about now? Is that better there? We were better than this?
Absolutely, that sounds spot on now. Crystal clear and good to go. So let's keep the fun going and dive right back into it.
Okay, got down to the source of the problem. Sorry about that. That was probably pretty awful. Here, I can tell you what happened. Apparently, when I plugged in this new document camera the other day, I didn't know that the document camera had its own microphone, and apparently TikTok thought that we needed to listen to that microphone. So no wonder it sounded like I was in a box.
Oh, that explains it. No worries at all. Mystery helved. TikTok's always got a mind of its own with those settings. But hey, we've got it all sorted out now. Men, you sound great. Let's just roll with it and keep having fun.
All right, here is an intriguing question. Dusty Desert asks, can you explain the Sahel Alliance in simple terms? Who is involved?
Sure. In simple terms, the Sahel Alliance, officially called the Alliance of Sahel States, includes Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. These three countries teamed up after leaving the West African Economic Bloc to tackle security and development issues together. As of 2025, they've got a joint military force, and they're working on shared economic policies and infrastructure to boost their region's stability.
And then Hugo Homestead would like you to tell us about the morgue manager at Harvard selling body parts.
So, here's the rundown. Back in December 2025, the former manager of Harvard Medical School's morgue, Cedric Lodge, got sentenced to 8 years in prison for stealing and selling human body parts. He and his wife were involved in taking organs and other remains from donated cadavers and then selling them. It's part of a bigger case involving several people across multiple states, and Harvard condemned the whole thing as completely unacceptable.
Steve would like you to tell us about the Minnesota daycare fraud story. Who are the supposed perpetrators, and how much are we talking about?
So here's the deal. In 2025, Minnesota got hit with a major daycare fraud scandal. Basically, up to $9 billion, almost half of the funds meant for various social service programs, was allegedly misused. One example is a place called the Quality Learning Center in Minneapolis that got millions in state funds, but turned out to be pretty suspicious. A bunch of people, including some from the Somali community, were charged for running fake businesses and pocketing money meant for real services. It's a big mess, and now there's a lot more scrutiny on how these funds are handled.
We are better. Thank you for the heart me and friendship necklaces.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for those gifts. We always appreciate the love and the support. Keep it coming, and we'll keep the snark and fun rolling. Thanks a ton for being here.
What can you tell us about the oil tanker from Venezuela that apparently either U.S. Navy or U.S. Coast Guard are chasing out in the Atlantic Ocean now?
So, here's what's going on. In December 2025, the US Coast Guard stepped up efforts to crack down on Venezuelan oil tankers dodging sanctions. Recently, they tried to board a tanker called the Bella 1, which is linked to Venezuela and under sanctions. The Bella 1 didn't comply and fled into the Atlantic, and as of now, the Coast Guard's still in pursuit. It's all part of a bigger US effort to enforce sanctions and cut off Venezuela's oil revenue.
Okay, so help me understand. The Coast Guard is in pursuit. So isn't that quite a ways from the U.S. coast?
Absolutely, it is a bit of a long haul for the Coast Guard, but yep, they do have the range to chase these tankers pretty far out. It's all about enforcing those sanctions wherever they need to. So yeah, they're definitely out there playing a bit of ocean tag, even if it's far from home.
Hugo Homestead asks, what is this new flu strain? Where and how much is it spreading? What are the symptoms, and what can you tell us about immunizations?
So here's the scoop. As of December 2025, there's a new flu strain called AH3N2 subclade K spreading around the world. It's been found in the US, Australia, or parts of Europe, and it's more contagious than usual. The symptoms are like your typical flu, fever, cough, sore throat, body aches, but they can hit a bit harder, especially at kids. The good news is the current flu vaccine does offer protection against it, and health officials are recommending everyone at high risk get vaccinated. Just keep up the usual hygiene to help keep it from spreading.
I was a little fast. Did you name the symptoms?
Absolutely. Let me slow it down for you. The symptoms are basically a classic flu lineup. You've got fever, cough, sore throat, body aches, and it might hit a little harder than the usual seasonal flu, especially for kids. But the main idea is it's all those familiar flu signs, just a bit stronger.
Logical Monkey asks, so is the conflict in Venezuela about drugs or oil?
Well, Logical Monkey, it's a bit of a cocktail of both. The Venezuela situation definitely has a strong oil angle, sanctions, smuggling and revenue all tied up in the oil trade, but there's also a layer of drug trafficking in the mix. So it's not just one or the other, it's kind of a double feature of oil and drugs both playing a role in the whole drama.
So is Venezuela a threat to U.S. national security?
In a nutshell, not really. Venezuela's more of a regional challenge than a direct threat to US national security. It's a headache because of the whole mix of sanctions evasion, oil smuggling, and some drug routes, but it's not like they're about to invade or anything. So it's more about keeping an eye on the neighborhood than a big national security boogeyman.
Okay, so maybe I asked the wrong question. Because if they're not a threat to U.S. national security, then why are we amassing military forces in the region? Why have we been attacking small boats coming out of Venezuela? And why are we seizing oil tankers?
Well, fair point. So the deal is, it's not about Venezuela being a giant existential threat. It's more about enforcing sanctions and keeping the pressure on their government. The US is basically flexing muscle to limit Venezuela's oil revenue and crack down on illegal shipments. So it's less about a direct national security threat and more about economic and political pressure. In other words, it's the US playing the long game.
Okay, well, here's what I want to know. Why is Venezuela's oil revenue, or decreasing their oil revenue, any of our business? And why are there sanctions on Venezuela?
Sure, let's break it down. Basically, the US put sanctions on Venezuela because of their government's actions, things like human rights abuses and undermining democracy. So the idea is that by squeezing their oil revenue, the US is trying to put economic pressure on the Venezuelan leadership to change their behavior. In other words, it's a political tool to push for reforms or a change in direction. So that's why
so human rights abuses. So like have they had like masked paramilitary going through their towns, like grabbing people and then throwing them into prison camps?
Yeah, that's pretty much the kind of thing we're talking about. The Venezuelan government has been accused of using security forces and paramilitary groups to crack down on dissent, detain protesters, and throw political opponents into prison. So yeah, human rights abuses like that are a big part of the reason behind the sanctions.
So that's interesting, because that kind of sounds like our immigration enforcement that's taking place in the United States right now.
Yeah, you could say there's a bit of the parallel there. It's one of those situations where different countries have their own versions of crackdowns and enforcement, and sometimes the lines can feel a bit blurry. So yeah, it's definitely an interesting comparison to think about.
Jules Huga asks, what's out in the collective consciousness, but not apparent right now, that will come to fruition in 2026?
Oh, a bit of a crystal ball question. Well, let's just say one big thing simmering under the radar is the rise of even more immersive AI tools and virtual spaces. By 2026, we're likely going to see more everyday blending of virtual worlds with real life, kind of like the metaverse taking a bigger step forward. So yeah, think of it as the next wave of digital life waiting to pop up and become the new normal.
Let's catch up on the gratitude here. Thank you. We're better.
Absolutely. Always happy to spread a little gratitude around. Thanks for being here, and let's get the good vibes going.
Thank you. We are better than this for the goat gift, Leanne for the lightning bolt, heart me, and the finger heart. Appreciate that. And well, Tata, thank you for the follow, and Neurotorture, thank you for the follow. Steve asks, if we are talking human rights, what about Saudi Arabia?
Absolutely, and there's the elephant in the room, right? I mean, Saudi Arabia's human rights record definitely raises plenty of eyebrows, and yeah, they often get treated differently because they're a key US ally in the Middle East. So yeah, it's a double standard situation. When it comes to foreign policy, not every country gets the same treatment, and that's just the reality of how the game's played.
If a country was investing in the Trump meme coin, would we know about it?
Well, if a whole country was secretly loading up on Trump meme coins, it might not stay a secret for too long. Eventually, someone would spill the beans, or a financial watchdog would notice the weird activity. But until then,
but I mean, is cryptocurrency activity public?
Absolutely, for the most part, crypto transactions are public. Blockchains are basically open ledgers, so anyone can see the movement of funds. The trick is figuring out who's behind those wallet addresses. So yeah, the activity's out in the open, but the real identities can be a bit of a puzzle.
Well, yeah, so it's you can see the transactions, but you can't see who they're coming from. So you can see numbers moving around, but you can't tell. You can't tell. So if someone was trying to buy influence, sell influence, we wouldn't be able to tell potentially who was buying or selling. Other like we can see, like if it's Trump's meme coin, we can see who might be selling influence, but we wouldn't be able to see who's buying it.
Yeah, you've got it. Basically, you can see the money moving on the blockchain, but who's actually behind those wallet numbers is where things get murky. So yeah, if someone's trying to buy or sell influence through a meme coin, you'd see the transactions, but not the real world identities without some serious detective work.
Dusty Desert, thank you for the tiny Christmas.
Absolutely, Dusty Desert. Thanks a ton for the tiny Christmas. We appreciate all those fun little gifts, and it keeps the vibes festive around here, so big thanks for that.
Mickey33 asks, has Donald Trump agreed to meet with Zelensky on Sunday?
So, here's the update. Yes, Donald Trump and President Zelensky are set to meet in Florida on the Sunday, December 28th, 2025. They're going to talk about a nearly finalized 20-point peace plan to resolve the conflict with Russia. The plan's about 90% complete and covers security, economic issues, and territorial questions, especially in Donbass. Everyone's hoping this meeting will lead to a breakthrough and a step towards peace.
Patrick Torres wants to know if stablecoin is a good thing to invest in.
Well, stablecoins are kind of like the chill cousins of the crypto world. They stay pegged to a stable asset like the US dollar, so they go and do wild price swings. They're not really an investment to make big gains, but they're good for stability and moving money around. So, you want something low drama? They're a pretty solid kick.
Isley1 asks, what are the dangers of this new AI reality that has emerged?
Well, with all this new AI reality rolling in, the big dangers are stuff like privacy getting a bit thin, misinformation spreading faster, and people getting a little too dependent on AI to do their thinking. Basically, it's like handing over the keys to something super powerful and hoping it doesn't drive off a cliff. So we just got to keep our eyes open and steer it wisely.
When it is Dusty Desert's birthday, let's wish Dusty Desert a happy birthday. I want you to create a dinner menu and a cocktail menu for a wild house party, birthday party for Dusty Desert.
Absolutely, let's do it up. Happy birthday, Dusty Desert. All right, for your wild house party menu, let's start with some killer appetizers. Think buffalo chicken sliders, spicy jalapeno poppers, and a big nacho bar where everyone can load up their own toppings. For the main course, let's go with some barbecue pulled pork, maybe some grilled veggie skewers for the non-meat eaters, and a big old mac and cheese dish. Now for the cocktails, let's do a signature Dusty Desert Sunset with tequila, a splash of orange, a little grenadine, and some lime. And for something fun, how about a birthday cake martini with vanilla vodka and a rim of sprinkles? So there you go. Party on and enjoy.
Steve asks, what is going on in Syria and who is the United States backing? JDB, thank you for the friendship necklaces. Welcome, Ali Fair.
So here's what's going on in Syria as of December 2025. The country is in a transition phase after the fall of Assad's regime last year. There's a new interim government trying to stabilize things, but there's still a lot of unrest, with some areas under Kurdish control and others dealing with violence. The US is mainly focused on fighting ISIS and just recently launched airstrikes against ISIS targets. They're also easing some sanctions to help Syria rebuild, so it's a mix of ongoing challenges and some steps toward recovery.
Jules asks, what non-obvious country should we not sleep on with regard to danger to our way of life?
All right, here's a curveball for you. Don't sleep on Estonia. It's not the usual suspect, but they're a cyber powerhouse, and they've been dealing with a ton of cyber threats. If you're talking about a country that could impact the digital way of life, they're on the front lines of that. So not an obvious danger, but definitely one to keep an eye on in the cyber world.
And if the call was coming from inside the house, where would the call be coming from?
Oh, classic horror movie scenario. If the call's coming from inside the house, well, it's basically just your own tech. Maybe a smart speaker going rogue or your phone acting up. In other words, the call's just coming from you, your own devices, or maybe that sneaky AI assistant getting a little too clever.
Isley asks, are the U.S. troops in Syria newly deployed or have they been there all along?
So, as of December 2025, there were still about 900 US troops stationed in Syria, mainly in the northeast, and they've been there for a while. Their mission is mostly about fighting ISIS and working with local forces. Recently, after a deadly attack on American personnel, the US launched some major strikes on ISIS targets and ramped up joint operations. In short, they're still actively involved over there.
Ali Fair, thank you for the heart me and the finger heart. Sociology Doctor, thank you for the heart me and the Go Popular gift. Appreciate all those gifts. It's getting close to time to wrap up here. Yeah, Dusty Desert, it did go up over Quinn's head on that one about the call coming from inside the house, but that's okay. You know, sometimes Quinn will get it and sometimes not. Maylen asks, is Trump stationing troops in Nigeria to protect Christians?
So, as of right now, the US has indeed conducted airstrikes in northwest Nigeria targeting ISIS militants. And this is partly framed as an effort to protect Christian communities.
No, Quinn, the question was about stationing troops.
Ah, got it. So to be clear, there aren't US troops being stationed in Nigeria right now. It's more about those airstrikes and not actual boots on the ground. So no, there's no deployment of troops to protect Christians in Nigeria, just air support missions.
Patrick, have a good night. Thanks for being here. It is almost time to wrap up. Let's go ahead and take a look at the gift board. If we look at the TikTok gift board, what have we got? Our top 10 on the TikTok side. We Are Better Than This, Sociology Doctor, Michael Harris, Logical Monkey, Catastrophe, Jules Huga, Mike 7014, Ali Fair, Zadie 2024, and Lawrence. Thank you everybody for all the gifts there. And then what about our YouTube side? On the YouTube side, our top 10 fans are Hugo Homestead, Steve Kingery, P. Norton, Nancy Ring, Ron Parker, Deb, Patrick Torres, Catastrophe, and Dell G1M. So, Quinn, I've got a challenge for you tonight. I want you to do the wrap-up in which you summarize all the big points we covered, sending us away with a little bit of learning, a little bit of wisdom. And also giving some great shout outs to everyone who's been gifting and asking. But I want you to do it in the style of the rapper Shaggy.
All right, you got it. Let's wrap this up Shaggy style. So big ups to everyone on the gift boards. We Are Better Than This, Sociology Doctor, Michael Harris, Logical Monkey, Catastrophe, Jules, Mike, Ali Fair, all of you on TikTok. And to our YouTube fam, Hugo Homestead, Steve, P. Norton, Nancy, Ron, Deb, Patrick, and Dell, thank you for all the love. We talked about the new flu, we talked about what's up in Syria, Trump meeting Zelensky, and a whole lot more. Remember, keep your digital guard up, enjoy the ride, and until next time, it wasn't me, but it was a blast. See you all later.
All right, everyone. So that's pretty much a wrap for tonight. I hope you were all enjoying these last few days of 2025. Personally, I'm happy to see 2025 go. Holding out some hope that 2026 is going to be a much better year with hopefully a series of good news events. So let's keep our fingers crossed and look forward to things being better. And I will look forward to seeing all of you next time. Thanks as always for being here. Thank you for the community, and I will catch you all later.